Well, hello.
Well, hello, Father. We are here in a part of St. John the Baptist that not many people see. That is the food bank. And we have with us today Michael Merrill, who is the head of the food bank. Michael, good morning.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Good. We are here to see not so much your operation, but we want to hear about the operation and hear, see the property and all the great things that you do here.
Glad to show you.
Great.
Do some good work here.
All right. Let's walk around.
All right.
You have to give this all the time.
Can't go too far. All right, so this is where the magic happens. You actually just missed Tuesday mornings. We have our community food share truck show up, and so we have 10 to 12 volunteers in here unloading stuff. At the same time, loading boxes for the day. Our pantry shelves are back here. Most of our staple products that I've mentioned before, like peanut butter and canned goods, cereal and so forth, all on the shelves. Produce on this side, we have a crack team of 6 to 8 ladies who bag all the produce, process stuff. Anything that looks bad, we toss. Anything that's good, they make sure there's enough for everybody. What you're seeing here are all the boxes that are ready. We have different sizes. The smallest are our seniors, just single people. Smaller boxes in the center here for 1 to 2 families of 1 to 2. Medium boxes for families up to 3 and 4. Large boxes, families 5 to 6, no, 6 to 7 thereabouts. And extra larges are anyone families 8 to more. And we have, like as you can see, we got quite a few. So it's, probably 200, 250 people right there, individuals.
250 people.
Just for today.
For Tuesday.
Just for Tuesday, yeah.
How many people do you think you feed in a week? Is it 250?
In a week, let's see, if we're doing, I did this math before. It's probably upwards of 700 people to 800 people. Individual people.
800 individual people.
From seniors to children.
Per week, seniors to children.
Yeah.
So I want to go and see what's in the boxes, but I see a couple of things before. First, the fact that everything is so clean.
Our volunteers really do a great job keep this place clean, keep it safe.
Right,
So,
and fresh.
Very sanitary.
Great.
Especially right now with the crisis, so we've been doubling everything. So,
Great.
but it always looks great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's go check it out.
Absolutely. I'm gonna pick.
Let's see one of the large boxes.
Sure, how about right here?
Over here. Okay.
So we try to make sure that we have, every week there's kind of a standard sort of things we've shown. We always try to make sure they have some kind of a sweet dessert.
Coffee cake.
Yeah, some kind of bread product.
Bread.
A couple of them depending on the size.
Healthy cereal.
Some snacks. We actually have some healthy snacks for change, like nuts and so forth.
Pistachios.
Excuse me, pasta, and then an assortment of canned goods. So tuna, canned fruit, canned vegetables, canned pasta meals, canned soup, instant mac and cheese, tomato sauce. We've been having snack bars for a while, so they kind of go far.
Okay.
But yeah.
So
and then
protein,
on top of this will be
tuna.
Tuna. Yep, that's just the canned stuff. And then we're still organizing the produce here. And then every box will get produce according to the size.
So this box is not complete yet.
Not complete. This is just the dry goods.
So then there's fresh vegetables
produce.
And fruits.
And then an assortment of refrigerated products. So we always give out milk every week.
Milk, okay.
And then any other dairy stuff. Like this week we've got butter, yogurt, cheese.
What about meat?
And then that's the last thing we'll add is the meat. So
all in this box on top of what's in here already.
Exactly.
That is wonderful.
As much as we can get in there.
Great.
And some weeks, depending on donations and what the food share has for us, we can give them more. Sometimes it has to be a little less, but we try to give them as much as we can.
Okay. So just in case you were worried, you need to know that during this pandemic, people they've always been very generous with the food bank, but especially during this time, we have had some great donations. So people are coming through and they are very intent on continuing to feeding the poor.
A lot of people step forward for this, and it's
so you don't have to worry about that. So thank God for that, and thanks
I appreciate
to
the
all
parish's
our
support. It's been
people that
amazing.
support us.
Just
Great.
Pulling out. So
what else can we see?
want to see what we got in the fridges?
Yay! Let's go to this one first.
So we got So we usually have a couple of refrigerators dedicated solely to milk.
Whoa.
Try to get as much as we can. So we'll hand that
Okay.
out. This is our backup right now. So we've got meat. We're getting a little low, but we had some generous donations and we were able to purchase some meat, so that kept us going for some weeks. But it goes fast.
Great.
So you want to make sure people get protein. So here's an example of just some random things. We don't always get this stuff, but butter, yogurts, cheeses, random miscellaneous cheeses and yogurts here.
So here they get cheeses and then they get Jesus with us, right? They get great.
This is what I'm trying to experiment with. Food Share had some tofu and so forth. Don't know.
We're in Boulder County, so you know
Some people like it, some people don't. So we're kind of leaving it
there
up
you
to
go.
our drivers. Our drivers, one of the things they do well is they get to know their clients really well. And a lot of our walk-in clients, we recognize
Drivers,
them.
what do you mean? I always think when you think of a food bank or a food pantry, people come and get food and that's the end of it.
Not here. No, we also have about 20 drivers, volunteer drivers, who deliver anywhere from 2 boxes to 6 boxes once a week, every week. Many families as they can handle. So like we've got some people who they do like 2 small boxes, and we have others that do like 5 large or extra large boxes, so large family boxes. But yeah, that probably amounts to about half of our clients, our
So
delivery
if
clients.
you're poor and don't have food, you don't have to walk or spend money on gas to get food from us.
No, we have folks that are, especially during this crisis, we had a lot more deliveries because people were feeling that they needed to self-quarantine or they were an at-risk population and they couldn't leave the house. So we're really grateful that we have this cadre of delivery drivers who are willing to take this out.
Okay,
It's
so
been great.
one of the things that I talked about with the previous director of Food Pantry is I want to make sure that anyone who comes and asks for food does not leave with their hands empty.
And that's been
Is
our
that
policy
still the
the
case?
whole time. Yep, we don't turn
Perfect.
anyone away. It doesn't matter what their situation is. We don't judge.
Great.
They don't even need to be a member of St. John's, but anyone. If you need
Or
help,
Catholic, right?
or even Catholic. No.
Right. Great. All right. Let's keep going.
So here's our freezers. So here what do we got in here these days? It's a little empty, but we've got like these power bowls, just kind of a breakfast bowl.
Okay.
Frozen, warm it up in the morning.
Right. Gluten-free clients.
Yeah, when we don't get a lot of it, but when we get it, we try to stash it here. This is all the stuff that's gluten-free. So we try to take people's dietary habits into account. So gluten-free is one of the big ones. We also have vegetarians. Sometimes they don't want meat. We have folks that can't eat pork. Folks that have high blood pressure, so they need to be careful about their sugar intake, things like that. So we try to cater to as much of that as we can. So we keep a variety of things separated out.
Wonderful.
Can you explain what they're doing?
I don't know what they're doing.
What are you doing?
We just got a lot of, Dan's in charge of the meat department, and we've got a lot of these prepared sandwiches in and all kinds of.
So you're going to need to re-say what they're saying.
So what we got here is we frequently will get from the food share just sort of random prepared meals that can be frozen or refrigerated. And so what they're doing is just packing them up into smaller sets.
Like this.
Yeah.
There is a
So there's
burrito
sort of
here.
a
There's
couple
a
of meals in there.
sandwich. There are some
hot dog.
not
Chicken.
popcorn shrimp.
Yeah.
Not even chicken, shrimp. That's great. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Sometimes we'll use this to supplement the basic meat that we try to give out. So,
Great.
which is what we've got probably in here.
Is this where they go
So we do.
once they're bagged up?
So we break it up by the.
They're sorted by size of boxes that they go into. Small size, medium, large, extra large.
So
Great.
So I sort all the meat based on size and put them in the right places. And
take a second. to-
Oh, and you can tell top shelf,
yeah,
small boxes,
Yep.
second shelf, medium, large, and extra large.
yeah.
So well organized with everything.
And so this is Tuesday AM, Tuesday PM, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow.
We try to make sure we have enough for everyone the whole week. So,
Wonderful, wonderful. What else should we see?
what else can I show you? I can show you our shelves. can show you that. Ideally, these are always full of our staple stuff, like peanut butter, mac and cheese, tomato products, pasta, soups. We're doing pretty well on soups and tomato products because the food share has had plenty of it, but they haven't had much by the way of mac and cheese or peanut butter or canned fruit or canned chilies or some of our other things, so you can see they're getting a little low.
Michael, if through this video some people say, okay, what can I bring that they need the most? What would you say? What would you ask for?
At this exact moment, at the time of the filming, I'd say peanut butter, as you can see there, macaroni and cheese, the instant macaroni and cheese, canned chilies and canned stews, canned fruit.
So at this moment, those items. What about in general? What's the thing that goes fast or that you need the most, in great quantities?
Any of these staple items, anything that you see here, oatmeals, cereal, peanut butter, canned goods of all sorts, instant meals, the side dishes like the instant rice, instant pastas, all of that stuff. All that stuff is things that we try to give out every week.
Okay.
So they go quickly.
What about in terms of protein? Do you always have enough protein around?
No, we don't always.
Okay.
There were a couple of times, I remember last summer in particular, we didn't give out meat. We didn't give out meat for like 3 weeks because we didn't have any.
Wow.
So we've had some very generous donations recently, and that's helped us. What I showed you over there in the freezer, half of that was a donation, half of that was stuff that we were able to purchase thanks to cash donations.
Great.
But,
yes.
So we're trying to keep up, but it does run out.
What if I have a cow and I take it to the slaughterhouse and make a whole bunch of ground beef and they package it at the slaughterhouse for me? We
would happily
that
go
help?
pick that up for you.
Okay.
Do you have a cow?
Wow, great.
I didn't know you
I
had a cow.
don't have a cow. I just wish I had a cow at this moment so I can bring you some protein.
If you
Great.
get a cow, let us know. Yeah, we also, aside from the staple products, we try to, every now and then, this food share, and occasionally from donations and local stores, we'll get donations of just random pantry items. So that's kind of what's all back here. So it includes snack foods. Sometimes we get different types of pasta sauce, condiments, teas, coffees, other desserts. And we like doing that. We like when we get that stuff because then it breaks things up a little bit. They're not getting the same stuff every week. Sometimes it's a nice surprise, like, oh, look, I've got mayo this week or something like that.
Right.
Every little bit,
Mike, one of the things you said back there was we don't judge. So
No, we
if
don't.
I arrive in my Jaguar, but because of the pandemic, I lost my job, and the little money I have saved is going to be used for continuing paying my house until I get another job. Would you give me food if I'm in my Jaguar? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
we don't know what people's situations are, and it's not our place to decide whether or not they deserve the food or not. We're here to feed the hungry, and that's, if they come in, they obviously need it. And you can tell a lot of people come in here and they're very clearly trying to swallow the pride to ask for help, and it's very difficult. And so, yeah, you can't judge on what their situation is.
Wonderful.
So.
Eggs. I don't see eggs.
We haven't had eggs for a few weeks.
Wow.
It's something that if we can give them, it's fantastic. We love giving those out. Everyone's happy to get them.
A good, easy to make protein that should be always kept in hand.
But they're hard to come by, so we haven't had it for a while.
All right. Well, Sam's and Costco have big box of eggs, so maybe some of the people that will be watching will
That'd be
get
wonderful.
us some eggs.
Yep.
All
And
right.
donations can be dropped off. I mean, we've always picked them up at the parish. Perishable stuff like meat and eggs probably should come here to the warehouse, and we'll take them immediately, start distributing them.
Okay. What if I have a newborn baby and my diapers are very expensive
Diapers are
and
very
I need
expensive.
food, but what about other things like diapers?
Great lead-in. We generally, we used to give out more than food products, but right now it's mostly food. With one exception, we do still give out diapers, and right now we have a fantastic supply thanks to donations. So that's what all of this is.
Oh.
Diapers, wipes. We sort them out by size, so all the way from newborns to size 6, which is about as big as you can get, I think. Wipes are a big thing. We actually managed to get these from a FEMA donation through the food share, so that's been great. And we even have, every now and then, formula and canned baby food that we'll try to give out when we get it. So doesn't
Wow.
happen very often. So as you can see, we don't have much, but when we can, we do.
Wonderful.
So, absolutely. So we do have a number of clients who have young children, infants, who are still in diapers, and we make a note of that, and they get a set of diapers every week.
Beautiful. Great. How many volunteers in total or around do you have? Because I know there's a lot of them.
Let's see. Let me do this math real quick. So we usually have about a dozen in the morning on Tuesdays, another half dozen over the course of the day, 18. We've probably got about 30 to 35 volunteers.
30 to
Oh,
35.
Let me put that 30 to 35 plus about 15 or so drivers. So
Okay, so about 50 volunteers throughout the week.
30 drivers?
30
Okay, I've been
drivers.
corrected.
Okay. So,
So
that's
like 65 to 70
about
volunteers.
65 to 70
And we've had actually,
volunteers.
when the pandemic hit, we had a number of our volunteers have to self-quarantine because a lot of them are at that at-risk category.
Right?
But in the last month and a half, we have had a serious influx of people coming in. New folks are stepping up to help out, so it's been wonderful. And during the summer, we usually see our high schoolers return. Yes, they're seasonal volunteers, so it's been fantastic. So
God
we have very
bless
rarely been
them.
shorthanded.
That's great.
So it's been
I have
great.
a question.
Yes.
Any capital items that you would need? So like I see over there, there's a bunch of fans. Or do you need people to bring in their egg cartons like over there?
We're doing
Or-
okay for egg cartons. I mean, we
Everybody
usually have
gets
this.
Amazon boxes. Do you need those? Or are there any kind of light hardware items? Someone's got an old printer they don't really use.
That's a good question.
Anything like that?
We are frequently in need of boxes of various sizes, particularly smaller ones. So like I've asked volunteers, if they stop by their local liquor store, if they could just see if they've got some extra boxes, because these are a great size for our smaller and our medium boxes. So yeah, those are always welcome. We can always use, especially right now, more cleaning supplies, disinfectant wipes, disinfectant spray, gloves, disposable nitrile gloves, bleach, hand sanitizer, things like that. Those are stuff that we are going through very, very fast right now, and they're hard to come by. So
Yes.
those are great things that we could use. Not something
Good.
we usually ask for, but yeah, we could use those.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm sure you'll get some
Here's hoping.
by next week. All right. What else?
I don't know.
Do we want to walk through what is the process when somebody comes in?
Oh yeah, sure.
How do we greet them? How do we welcome them?
Normally, if a client comes in, they'll come in the door here. They'll knock or ring the doorbell, flag someone by. Usually, they'll show a fixture ID so we can identify that they're who they say they are. During the pandemic, we've been a little more easygoing about that. But all the files here are for tracking all our clients. We'll make a note that they've come in. We can check what size box they need, what dietary restriction they have, whether they need diapers, that sort of thing. And then the volunteers will get things assembled. So they'll take the beginning of the boxes here, grab the produce, grab the refrigerated items, grab diapers if they needed, make any quick changes to the boxes if someone's like, well, I'm gluten intolerant, so we'll have to pull all the bread out, that sort of thing. Haul it out to them, and they're good to go. Right now, trying to minimize contacts between clients and volunteers and so forth, we're currently doing curbside pickup, just like every store in town. So nowadays they're pulling up, they're giving us a call, letting us know their name. We'll look them up, assemble the boxes, and bring it right out to them, put it in their car for them. So they never need to step inside if they don't need to.
So if I choose to come and pick it up myself, then I can do that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. And it's been very popular with a lot of our clients. So
Good.
some are very comfortable coming in. Some don't have cars. So I mean, we do have a handful of homeless clients that come in every week, and they come on their bikes, and they come in, they take their box, they load onto the bike, they give us the box packs, and off they go.
If people want to drop off a donation here, what's the address and when can they do it?
The address is 804 South Lincoln, here in Longmont, and generally during our regular operating hours would be best. So Tuesdays 10:30 to 6:30, Wednesdays 10:30 to 5, and Thursdays 10:30 to 1.
Great.
All
I
right.
think that's everything.
Thank you for the tour. Thank you.
No, well, you're welcome. Thank you for talking to us today. Appreciate it.
So one of the reasons for this, let me just put my microphone on now. Talking about the corporal works of mercy. Right? One of the things Michael said was we feed the hungry, and that comes right out of Matthew chapter 25, where right Jesus separates the goat from the sheep, and he says, "When I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was imprisoned, you visited me." There's about 5 specific concrete things that he says, and so this food bank is one of the concrete ways in which we try to serve the body of Christ and to even feed people with food, but also with charity, right? It's not just about giving them food. It's not just making sure they have calories, but also just the recognition of their humanity.
Right, and their dignity as well. You see, how they talked about it, how respectful they are of them, and they don't judge. They bring them food to their homes. It's a great operation that we have going here through the charity of all of those people that volunteer here, and some of them have been volunteering for many years, but also all of the people that help us with monetary donations so that we can buy food when we can't get food donated. So that is amazing. And since food is just so basic, all other needs, right, are going in different categories, and some are more difficult to fulfill, etc. For example, if someone doesn't have money for rent, it's difficult for us to give money to everyone for rent, things like that. But food is so basic that that's where the majority of our charity goes, to food, and there's a great amount of people that get fed by you, the people that give money, your time, and your talent for this.
We have a lot of drivers, we have a lot of people who volunteer here, and they love the food bank. And I think part of it is just there's an implicit form of evangelization that goes on here of loving people and showing them that they are lovable because they're made in the image and likeness of God.
Yeah.
And, if there's nothing else, then they know the families that come here and they know that they were taken care of by St. John the Baptist, then there's something that is an implicit evangelization on behalf of the church and on behalf of Jesus himself that might open the doorway a little bit later for them to come back and say, how do I have a prayer life? What else? What's the next step for me in relation to Jesus? One of the things I'm noticing in here, this is the front room where people come in. I think we could use some sacred art in here. There's a
crucifix, which is awesome, but yes.
But everything else is. So a lot of people have really beautiful sacred art, possibly a little bit too much sacred art in a particular room. So if you have any sacred art, now Father's going to have to vet it to make sure that
it's
theological, it's beautiful, it's not Malibu
beautiful.
Jesus.
Right. It's not stuff that you want to get rid of because it was popular in the 60s and now it's out of fashion and it's kind of ugly in your home. No, if you're going to bring it, it needs to be beautiful sacred art.
That way there can be even more of a strong proclamation of the work of Jesus through the people here. I was recently reading a theologian that was talking about God in the midst of this coronavirus, and he was saying how, it's really tempting for us to be like, God, why don't you intervene? Why don't you stop? Why don't you make all this happen? And through eyes of faith, the Lord sends little Christs out in the world to be his presence, to do the work precisely that we're begging him to do. And what is little Christ except for
a Christian? Yeah, so that's what we are called to be, little Christ. That's what the name implies when we are called Christians. So
if you've never looked up Matthew chapter 25, the great judgment that's based on feeding, clothing, visiting, tending to the sick, each of these things, it's really something to make sure you want to include that in your life.
Yeah, one of those corporal works of mercy that is not in that list is burying the dead. And I love that for this reason. You know that we always have to have a great devotion to the souls in purgatory, as in always be praying for them. But we also have many funerals where families are not Catholic. The person that we're having the funeral for was Catholic, but families are not practicing, and those funerals are very sad. And I imagine the people in the coffin being so sad that people don't even know how to respond at the Mass.
We're like, the Lord be with you, and then not even the crickets chirp back.
Yeah, it's even awkward, right? And so imagine if there's a funeral at the parish and you can come and be at Mass. Well, you will be at Mass, you will receive communion, and you will be doing a corporal work of mercy by attending this funeral. You, Father, have a funeral coming up in which it might not be like this, in which the family don't practice. I don't know the family, but I know that there are only a couple people attending because of where families are, so they could be attending this funeral for starters, which is when?
This Tuesday at 9:30 a.m.
Don't even tell the people anything at the funeral, but you can attend the funeral and again be doing a corporal work of mercy just by that.
Now, when you say corporal, there's corporal and spiritual works of mercy, but what does corporal mean? Like Lance Corporal, like a military thing?
Corporal again comes from corpus, which is body. So bodily works of mercy. So things that you can do physically. So instead of just, praying for someone, saying praise for someone, for example, I physically will attend the funeral or the burial or whatever. Or here, the volunteers, with their bodies, they are helping the poor.
So we have corporal and spiritual works, which has to do with the fact that, get ready for an SAT word, that we are hylomorphic. Hylomorphic, two forms. We're spirit and body, right? Your dog at home, sorry Fido, he's just body, right?
The cat is nothing.
Animals are just body. Angels are just spirit. God in the first and third persons of the Trinity is just spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus himself becomes body and soul like us. He becomes like us in all things but sin. And so we have ways of attending to the body, right? This food bank being one of them. Burying the dead being attending to the body after the separation of body and soul. But then there are also spiritual works of mercy, which would beg for another catechesis. That'll be another time. And so the attention to the entirety of the human person, body and soul. So we should probably do another catechesis on the spiritual works of mercy.
Great.
And even round out with some of the rest of the corporal works of mercy.
I'm glad that we did this one first, because many times people focus on the spiritual, which is, yes, the main when we go to heaven, etc., etc. God is spirit. But God did not only create the soul. He created our bodies as well, and we have to, 1, take care of our bodies, and 2, work with our bodies to do these corporal works of mercy.
And 3, work out our bodies.
That was for me because I've gained so much weight during the pandemic, but I will work it out eventually.
You sometimes do say, right, this body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And so working out, you can do it in a vain way that cares too much about how you look. But also, the training of one's body can be for one's own corporeal benefit, right? The fact that we are embodied and taking care of the body actually helps us to function, to take care of others, but even to pray well in the body.
Right, for healthy reasons. If I want to be a priest for many years and I don't take care of my body, I'm not going to be able to do ministry for, I'm going to be laying in bed with whatever illnesses come with whatever overweight and all those things. So I do need to take care of body for a godly reason. So,
Beautiful.
all right.
I think it's raining outside.
Yes,
Let's
go
just
outside.
check.
Oh, can this be more perfect? I don't think so. See, my body loves, and my mind as well, loves this kind of weather. Look at the clouds. Can you see the gray up there? This is my kind of weather. And the Lord
why do you love rain so
loves me this much. Oh, man. So, that's for another catechesis because it's something very personal. I just remember rain used to make me very sad, and for many years rain would make me sad. And one day the Lord healed me in my heart of something. One day it was raining, and I specifically asked, why do I get sad when it rains? And he showed me that. Remember when I said that my dad left on Tuesday to get cigarettes?
Yes.
That means, for those that didn't understand, the whole thing is...
Which is like everybody.
When my dad left the family, it was at a day when it was raining. I remember my mom crying, and then the door opened and it was raining. It was beautifully raining, but at that time, it was the saddest thing because of what's going on. And I didn't know why I got depressed every time it rained until the Lord showed me why. And from then on, He has given me such joy with rain, so much so that now sun kind of depresses me. So I'm not really good in hot weather, but in this weather, I thrive. So one day I will move to Seattle or one of those places where it rains a lot.
So, if I'm hearing you right, weather, which is a very physical thing, we interact with it in our corpus and its corporeality with our bodies, right? But it touches you also in a spiritual way. So it's not just like, oh, I love coffee in Seattle, but it redounds back to this moment of healing that the Lord granted you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which has to do with our spiritual lives. And so there are certain preferences that we can have with colors, for example, with weather, with styles of art, that the Lord can work through to actually bring about a spiritual healing and actually make us more human, right?
Right. But even as with what we were talking there inside, when we feed the body, we feed the whole person because we are not in a duality. Body and soul are perfectly united. We are one person. We are not two separate things of body and soul. We are so united that when we feed the body, we also are nourishing the soul in a certain way. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. That's it for today. Love ya.
God bless you.